Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer timeline emerges after £46.3 million striker deal agreed. Latest Liverpool transfer news and gossip with an update on the future of Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak. Liverpool have been given an update regarding the future of Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak. The Reds have been heavily linked with signing the Sweden international throughout the summer, and the rumors have ramped up over the last few weeks. Isak was not part of Newcastle's travelling squad for the club's pre-season tour of the Far East. This came as Liverpool saw a £110 million bid rejected for Isak last week, with the Echo understanding that the Reds are not expected to make a second offer as things stand. Despite this, Isak is continuing to be linked with a move to Liverpool. Chronicle Live have reported that the striker has been instructed by Newcastle to train alone rather than with the rest of the squad ahead of the start to the new Premier League season. Now, the Daily Mail have provided some insight into Liverpool's potential plans to return with their interest in signing Isak. It has been claimed that the Reds will make a second bid for Isak, but only when Newcastle have signed a potential replacement. Newcastle have seemingly missed out on signing Benjamin Sesko, with the RB Leipzig striker set to join Manchester United. The Magpies have also been linked with Chelsea star Nicholas Jackson in recent days, as well as Yoane Wissa at Brentford and Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa. Liverpool are on the verge of selling striker Darwin Núñez to Saudi Pro League outfit Al Hilal. A £46.3 million deal plus add-ons has been agreed for the Uruguay international to leave Anfield. The Reds will now look to sign a new forward, but only if the player meets the club's criteria. Liverpool transfer contingency plan as Darwin Núñez exit sparks fresh Alexander Isak demand. Stephen is a senior football writer who provides extensive around-the-clock coverage for the Liverpool Echo, Manchester Evening News, Football, London, and other Reach plc outlets. In his spare time, Stephen scours the non-league scene around Merseyside, speaking to managers, players, and taking in the best of the local action. He joined the Echo in January 2023 following a period with other Reach plc sites. The Premier League opener against Bournemouth is a week away for Liverpool, and finally the opportunity for Arne Slot's side to begin their defence of the top-flight crown. It has been a busy summer on Merseyside with plenty of incomings and outgoings, with the Reds on the verge of completing another sale with Darwin Núñez's impending exit. Al Hilal are closing in on the Uruguayan with Simone Inzaghi set to land, his desired attacking target for their forthcoming Saudi Pro League campaign. For Liverpool, they have been interested in Newcastle United star Alexander Isak, but have found bargaining with the Magpies difficult after their first official bid of £110 million was robustly rejected. Eddie Howe's side have endured a torrid transfer window with missing out on a host of targets, including Hugo Ekitike, who opted for a move to the Reds over penning terms in the Northeast. Milos Kerkez could be in line to face his former club when the curtain raises for the latest top-flight season, but there are 7 long days of transfer twists and turns. Liverpool to look for another attacker if Núñez completes exit. The Echo's Ian Doyle has reported that Liverpool will look to sign another attacker if a deal goes through for Núñez, one that can be a starter and attainable at what the Reds believe is a fair value. The news comes after reports over a possible move for Paris Saint-Germain talent Bradley Barcola, which were refuted in factions of the media following reports from France. Isak is said to be valued at £150 million by Liverpool's Premier League rivals, but the Swede finds himself out of the Newcastle squad and training on his own following the bubbling saga surrounding his future. With the sale of the Uruguayan, it poses an interesting prospect for Slot, going into the Community Shield against Crystal Palace before returning to Anfield. Liverpool will return for Isak. The Daily Mail's Craig Hope reported that Isak will not be involved in the club's forthcoming Sela Cup encounters against La Liga opposition, days after returning to the Northeast, where he remains training on his own. While Newcastle battle to find alternatives, whilst licking their wounds after losing out on Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United, they face a dilemma surrounding the one-away striker. Hope believes Liverpool will return for the striker and that Isak will be in a red shirt for when the transfer window closes on September 1st. That was a tactic in light of their £110 million being rejected, he said. Liverpool have not come this far to offer £10 million below what they previously discussed verbally, only to then walk away from it. Liverpool will return, but they'll only return when they see Newcastle bring in a replacement. The offer would just be rejected, and the price will creep up and up. But they will come back. Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer twists set to emerge as £46.3 million exit drops major hint. As Darwin Núñez edges closer to the Liverpool exit door, the Reds' search for a replacement continues. The Uruguayan is set to join Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal in an initial £46.3 million deal, calling time on a 3-year stint at Anfield. In doing so, the 26-year-old gets his wish. He had asked to leave Liverpool back in January, only to be denied as the Reds prioritized their pursuit of a 20th league title. Still wanting to pursue pastures new heading into the summer, this time he was not left disappointed. His departure will leave Arne's slot with 4 senior forwards to call upon in Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, summer signing Hugo Ekitike and Federico Chiesa. But in truth, Chiesa could also join Núñez in leaving the club. Liverpool still boast versatile players who can provide additional depth in Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai and, if he too doesn't move on, Harvey Elliott. Beyond their quintet, Rio Ngumaha is now being considered as a genuine first-team option, while Ben Doak can bolster the numbers further if he is still a Reds player when the transfer window comes to an end. But considering Slot partly signed Chiesa to boast 6 senior forwards last summer, all internationals with 2 specialists in each position, it is no surprise that Liverpool will not be entirely satisfied with what they already have at their disposal. As the door closes on Núñez's Reds career, another one opens for a would-be replacement. Liverpool will explore the market for an additional attacking player, but only if key criteria is met. This criteria includes, but is not restricted to, the desired player being of sufficient quality to start, representing fair market value and being realistically attainable. Admittedly, the Reds might not have to look very far. Their interest in Alexander Isak is well documented, with the Swede even previously of interest when they ultimately opted to sign Núñez back in the summer of 2022. The want-away striker has made it clear to Newcastle United that he wishes to move on, with Liverpool his desired destination. It has now been a week since the Reds made their first official move for the 25-year-old, with the Magpies rejecting an £110 million offer last Friday. It was understood that club bosses considered it futile to return with an improved offer, given the swiftness and clarity of Newcastle's rejection. But with Núñez moving on and Liverpool now openly pursuing a new forward, it would not be a massive stretch to assume that, on this occasion, 2 + 2 = 4. As one of the best strikers in Europe, Isak would clearly be of sufficient quality to start. But whether he represents fair market value and is realistically attainable is another matter entirely. The Reds are willing to break the British transfer record to sign the striker, with £120 million perhaps their rough ballpark figure when deciding fair market value. Newcastle's initial asking price of £150 million would evidently not be a price Liverpool would be willing to pay. The Magpies have insisted they want to retain Isak's services throughout the summer, but actions speak louder than words. They are still pursuing new attacking options of their own, while the striker was made to train alone on Wednesday as Eddie Howe's squad reported back to training following their pre-season tour of the Far East. The Daily Mail reports he will not feature in either of the club's Sela Cup fixtures against Espanyol and Atletico Madrid on Friday and Saturday. While Howe could still attempt to bring Isak in from the cold, his head has been turned with the writing seemingly on the wall when it comes to the likelihood of a Newcastle exit. Should the Magpies insist he stays put, he would not be realistically attainable. But recent events suggest otherwise. The Echo's sister site, The Chronicle, reports that Howe will not hold a pre-match press conference ahead of either friendly against the La Liga opponents. However, he will speak to the press after both matches, where he will inevitably be quizzed about Isak's future once more. The next twists in this transfer saga are just around the corner. Reports have suggested that Isak's desire to leave St. James Park is long-standing, with Newcastle having long since been made aware of his stance. While they are currently navigating dirty waters, an almost inevitable destination is emerging on the horizon. Núñez wanted to leave Liverpool for a number of months before seeing his exit sanctioned. He even joked about the possibility of a move to Saudi Arabia as he issued a tongue-in-cheek come-and-get-me plea only weeks after being denied an initial exit. Joining Luis Diaz, who signed for Bayern Munich in a £65.5 million deal after seeing his initial request to depart was denied last summer. In leaving the club, both Wanaway stars belatedly got their wish. Players rarely stay put for long when they want to move on. If Isak is indeed the replacement of choice, those of a Reds persuasion will be hoping that he does not have to wait as long to make his own exit. Of course, if Liverpool are to be left disappointed in their pursuit of the Swede, they will need to explore the market further. But they will have not sanctioned Nunez's exit unless they were confident they could source a replacement. Having already submitted one bid for Isak, he is the obvious object of their desires. And while a transfer to Liverpool might not yet be a foregone conclusion by any means for Isak, with Nunez now leaving the club, the pieces are at least slowly falling into place. Thanks for watching. Like and comment and subscribe.